Easter eggs and Call of Duty zombies go hand in hand. But over the last decade, zombies has taken it one step further with the introduction of super Easter eggs, a mammoth multi-map quest to unlock an ultimate reward. And in this video, we're going to be going over the history of every super Easter egg in zombies. As we jump into this, I'd love to know your thoughts on super Easter eggs in general in zombies, and if you've completed any. Whilst you're down there, feel free to subscribe and like the video for some good luck on your next Easter egg. Starting from the very beginning, it was 2012 with Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that introduced the first super Easter egg. Black Ops 2 was revolutionary in many ways, but building upon the foundations of Black Ops 1 zombies by collecting items in prior maps, Black Ops 2 went one further with the introduction of nav cards and nav card tables. The primary use of the nav cards and the nav card tables was to join all three radio masts in each map to essentially connect all the maps together. And during the life cycle of Black Ops 2 zombies, this created an element of suspense, as up until the release of Buried, the uses of the nav cards and the tables weren't fully complete, forcing players to revisit the prior maps in order to complete an objective for the new map, which at the time added a brand new layer to a map which you've played for months and months, which was really cool. Up until Buried's release, the nav card table in Transit didn't accept any nav cards. Transit's nav card went to WWII's nav card went to Buried, and Buried's nav card went to Transit. Now, if revisiting old maps wasn't enough to further enhance the replay value, there were two sides to every Easter egg on these maps, which is something never done before in zombies, and we haven't seen it since. And these were all requirements for the end game, where all four players in the game must have completed Transit, WWII's, and Buried on the same side, all nav tables built with the correct nav cards inserted. You could unlock the super Easter egg ending. Now there's two, there's Richtofen and there's Maxis. The Maxis ending is the canon one, where if we activate it, there is an epic confrontation between Maxis and Richtofen, where Maxis overthrows Richtofen, taking control of the ether and sends Richtofen's soul into a zombie.
The process has begun. Now I control the ether's energy. I can at last reach Agatha! Ah, you fool! Why did you listen to him? Regretfully, I must inform you that neither the Earth nor its people will survive. I tried so hard to warn you. Now go! Once the gateway is open, I will finally be reunited with my dearest Samantha.
Hello? Are you forgetting something? Even if your wretched daughter is still alive, she has my body!
If you are so eager to re-enter the physical world, Richtofen, I will grant you that fish!
The other ending being Richtofen, he declares victory over Maxis, ceasing him to exist before partially taking over Samuel Stillinger's body and remaining inside his head.
Finally, I am in control! The ether is mine to manipulate as I wish. The moon is now my own personal plaything!
What have you done?
I've won, Maxis! That's what I've done!
Oh, what about Samantha? Your actions condemn my daughter's very soul to eternal damnation. Even if you do not care for her, surely you wish to return to your own body.
Not really, no. Won't I already possess the power to leave this netherworld and re-enter the physical realm once more? I can choose anybody I will. As for you, Maxis, you will simply cease to be. I'll be the man, Poodle.
No!
Take a deep breath, Samuel. We're about to get a whole lot closer.
Now, as a cool bonus for getting this ending, you're also rewarded with a permanent fire sale, as well as a special variant of Mule Kick that allows you to carry 4 weapons instead of 3 for the rest of the game, so pretty cool. Now, after Black Ops 2, we didn't see any zombies games for a year until we got Exo Zombies. And not many of you will remember this, but this game did have a super Easter egg. On the final DLC map, Descent, There's a reception desk of the Trident Retreat with a trophy table with a total of 7 trophy slots, and every slot represents a challenge that must be completed within the 4 Exo Zombies maps. Now, most players would never have bothered to get all 7 trophies, but here's what you had to do. 4 of them were revolved around getting the main Easter egg quests complete on Outbreak, Infection, Carrier, and Descent. But in order to get a full trophy collection, there were 3 other trophies that involved you going back to those previous maps and completing the Easter eggs that gave you slightly different endings. One of the trophies is that of a golden bus, which requires you to play the first Exo Zombies map and complete the main Easter egg, but one of the steps involving getting 50 keycards you must get from zombies only by killing them with melee attacks and then finishing the Easter egg, where you'll get an alternate ending where the aircraft doesn't actually crash at the end, which is really cool. To get the golden shark trophy, you need to finish the laser floor step of the Carrier Easter egg in less than a minute with a fish in your inventory. It's such a weird requirement, and being honest, this entire Easter egg was so weird, being drunk and having to jump over lasers. But if you complete this with a fish in your inventory, you will get that trophy. And the final one is a golden trident, which is to defeat Oz in his mutated form in the double feature mode, which is a reward that you get given for completing the main Easter egg on Descent, where it's essentially a hardcore mode of Exo Zombies. You have a black and white field to apply to your game, you have no HUD, no teammate name indicators, and when a player goes down, they die immediately instead of bleeding out. Zombies have more health than normal, and they only reward points when they're killed. And yeah, to get that final trophy, you need to defeat Oz in his mutated form whilst in this mode, which is very, very difficult. I'm sure most of you have never done this before, and I don't blame you. Moving on to our next game is Black Ops 3, and what a game Black Ops 3 was, right? Unfortunately, when it comes to the super Easter egg in that game, it was very underwhelming. There was a reward for completing all Easter eggs, and it was tracked very similar to how it was in Black Ops 2, but it never came to the same sort of climactic ending as we got with Black Ops 2. For completing every Easter egg and then completing Revelations, you're rewarded with 1 million XP, an achievement called A Better Tomorrow, which says to complete the cycle, and you're permanently given an RK5 as a new starting weapon. And don't get me wrong, it's fantastic having that RK5 permanently, but it's not as cool as what we had with previous games. But that's fine, because the next game really took super Easter eggs to the next level. Infinite Warfare Zombies. And wow, the super Easter egg on this was absolutely phenomenal. Once players have completed all 5 Easter eggs, you had to do something very similar to Transit Diaries and Buried with the nav cars, as you had to go back into Zombies in Spaceland, insert all 5 soul keys into the soul jar inside the projector room, and then you'd unlock Director's Cut. Now, Director's Cut is a whole new way to experience the Zombies mode. There is a plethora of rewards you get from this. You get all perks permanently at the start of each game. You get 25,000 points immediately. All weapons in the magic wheel are already pack-a-punched. And map-respective wonder weapons can be found in the magic wheel and immediately upgraded, so you don't have to go and complete any of those tedious side quests. Now, there was also something which I definitely think most of you have forgotten about, which is talisman masks, which would spawn upon picking up a soul key piece in Director's Cut, which once picked up would award the player with a special calling card for the map the mask was acquired in. These were in really sneaky spots. Once you've collected one of these masks from each of the maps on the game, that's it. You can't collect them ever again. But that's a really cool reward in itself. But let's go ahead and talk about what else you get. And that is the legendary Mephistopheles boss fight, who's the true final boss of the entire mode. This boss is without question one of the greatest boss fights in Call of Duty Zombies history. It's one of the most difficult, most tedious, and the most difficult boss to even get to, let alone beat, and without question puts Infinite Warfare as the best zombie super Easter egg that we have ever received. I'd love to know if you agree with me in the comments below, or if you disagree, but I think this really set the bar for all future zombie modes to achieve a super Easter egg of this size and scale, as this is what people wanted originally with Black Ops 3. Following on for the release of Infinite Warfare Zombies, we of course got World War II Zombies, which had a traditional Easter egg on every map, but it didn't end up culminating in a super Easter egg reward as such, but you did get some rewards for completing all of the eggs. If you go into your character challenges and go down to the bottom, there's one called Cold Blooded, and the only way to unlock this is by completing all 5 challenges, which are called the Hilt, the Pommel, the Blade, the Forge, and the Ancient Evil, which are the main Easter eggs for each World War II map. And in doing so, we'll unlock a new playable character, which is a zombie. That's right, your character will be a full-on zombie. Now, in this day and age where there are operators and skins galore for Warzone and Cold War, something like this would actually be amazing to see. Now, very similar to Cold War, you have the option of choosing what sort of weapon you spawn in with, and by completing all the map's Easter eggs on this game, you can unlock a few new weapons to use. One of them being the M1 Garand, an MP40 or an M1928, and a combat shotgun. Now, there are a few other gameplay features which I genuinely did not know about till making this video that you get on this game, which is really cool. You get unlimited grenades that recharge after every use. Ammo in your weapons will regenerate over time. Your health regenerates faster over time. And when you go down, you will respawn back with 2 pieces of armor, and the third will regen quicker than normal. I believe these perks are only exclusive to the Frozen Dawn map, but still very, very cool. And the last game in our list is one we touched on recently on the channel, and that was the cut super Easter egg from Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now, in every map practically, aside from Dead of the Night and Target der Toten, there are secret areas of the map which were planned to be unlockable somehow. Now, I do believe that it was a super Easter egg reward, and these rooms would unlock to give you perhaps a wonder weapon or a set of perks or something to reward you for going through all of the maps. The actual flag that these doors look for in order to unlock doesn't actually exist on every map. Now, when the logic for these doors are finished, it runs the function which opens the doors. Now, most of the occurrences for these functions are wait tills, and in order to trigger a wait till, you need a notify, but there's no notify anywhere in the game scripts or in the game's executable to actually open any of these doors. So it seems like Treyarch intended for them to at some point, but for some reason or another, just didn't get round to finishing. Don't exactly know what a super Easter egg on Black Ops 4 would even look like, considering there were 2 stories, Ether and Chaos, but I would love to imagine that it would have been something really, really cool. If you want to learn more about these rooms, you can definitely check out my recent video, which I'll have linked as an eye on the top of the screen here. That about wraps up the history of super Easter eggs in Zombies, although who's to say it's the end for the super Easter egg saga? Cold War zombies could have one, any zombies in the future could have one, and they could be even better than what we've seen so far. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you very, very soon.